Now we just went through the personal characteristics, when the individual characteristics, how some of those individual characteristics influence or contribute to our overall health. Now we're moving on to the social and community network. Now, how the social and community network also impact those people living in that society, how those network impact their health. Extremely important. People don't live on an island. They live in societies, good forms communities. And the characteristics of those societies and communities determines the sort of impact that will, and the impact it will have on its occupants or on its members. So it's very, very important for us to, whenever we talk about health-related issues, we have to also make sure that we take into consideration the society, the community. What is in that society? What are some of the issues in that society? Because if we don't discuss if we don't take into consideration some of those, we might indirectly avoid, some key things that needs to be really considered. Some of the things that we need to to see, some of the outlines, the nature of the social and community network. As with anything, you have to know the nature. Because when you know the nature, it can help you predict what are some of the conditions that are available and what are some of the possible health challenges that could be provided by those conditions. To define the concept of social support and social capital. Communities with healthy social support usually have usually have a healthy social capital, and all of those are great ingredients that will support the health of the individuals living in those societies. To examine how this network influence health. What are networks? Here, when you talk of social and community networks, they are primarily concerned with the interaction between groups of people and or organizations and institutions. Now, the interaction here is trying to support each other, trying to provide relevant service to those people living in those communities. Extremely important. Social networks can be analyzed in terms of structure, That is number of people, frequency of contact, and diversity, as well as the quality of the network and type of support given. Because having the social network itself is great. Depends on the structure, the number of people, how often, how diverse is the community, the network, and the quality. Do people really know what they are doing? Are they doing it for the right motives? Are they doing it for the well-being of the people in the community? Are they treating everybody in the community with the same equal amount of concern, same amount of respect, providing the same amount of quality service? How social support is defined as functions leading to the subject to believe. You see, listen to this properly, because this can start giving you an insight as to why, when we start talking about people really going for the virus, the the COVID-19 vaccine, why it's somehow a bit difficult for some members of our population, especially underserved populations, like some members of the African American population. Yeah, their social support is defined as information leading to the subject or the individual to believe they are cared for. Key things here. They are cared for and loved, and they are held in esteem and considered valued, belong to a society of network of communication and mutual obligations. See, because most of the time is, if people think that they are not cared for and they don't belong to, they are not loved, there's a level of trust that is lost. And when trust is lost, it's very, very easy for all people to make all sorts of crazy conspiracies. And it's easy for people to start, oh, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Create a doubt. So I just hope that African Americans, other populations underserved, please, when it comes to this virus, this vaccination, please take it. Unlike any other issue, this is very, very important for our survival. So when your time comes up for the vaccination, please take it. We understand, it's really clearly known that most of the health issues that we or the African American population is faced with. Some of it is due to negligence, not properly cared for, or allowed people to live in subhuman conditions, or allow people to live in an environment that fosters a lot of unhealthy behavior that has created this mistrust and has also allowed people to gravely distrust the legal system because of the history. But for now, I am begging, as a public health educator, please, when your time comes for this vaccination, take it. This is something real. It will help you. It will help your family. It will save life. There are a lot of things that needs to be discussed. All of these things that I said, cared for. People believe that they are cared for, loved, held in high esteem, or valuable. A lot of African Americans will say no, 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 no to all of this. And that's why we see some of this discrepancy, this gap between the health of whites and the health of minorities. But when it comes to this present situation, let's all just say, yes, we are going to take the vaccination. Now, some of these things have been exposed. And these things will not be let down again, will not be dropped. And those of you that are interested in public health, these are the issues that you have to take. Be advocates for the health of your people, for yourself. So that when it comes to services, you get a quality service that can promote your health. Trend to be used when examining more an individual level network. The reciprocity emphasizes an extremely important element of social support for health, where you not only receive social support, but also give social support. This reciprocity has important implications for building connected communities and enhancing the health of communities. Show people that you care. Show people that in the process of providing those services, first of all, try to know the culture. Show that you really care for them and love them and respect them, hold them in high esteem. Don't put them down because they are Blacks or Hispanics or other minorities or this, because they are all human beings. When it comes to providing services, those services should be provided equally. they should be provided to the people that need the service with the same level of care, the same level of support, the same level of respect. Say because most of the time when those society create that kind of situation, the network is stronger. The bonds are not easy to break. But when those bonds are not properly formed, it's just a challenge. Element of social support. Now, this were some of the things that government has. The house. The house in 1981 characterizes 4 types of social support, which also arise, or which also assesses the quality of the network. Say the house or the government came up with characteristics. Four types of social support, which also assesses the quality of network. One, you have the emotional support. You have to show love. You have to trust people so that they can trust you. And you also have to show empathy so that you care for them. You have an idea. Nobody can really say, okay, if they have not really experienced a white guy cannot say, oh, I know what you're going through. No. To a black man, no. But they can empathize. They can say, I can imagine how it feels to be black, to feel not being loved, not being respected, not being trusted, to be discriminated against. And yes, being provided quality service. These are all things that affect the emotional. And some of this does not necessarily deal with just level of education or whatnot. It's worse when there's little or no education. But it doesn't mean some of these issues are not experienced by people with three degrees, doctorate, professional degrees, and whatnot, just because they are minorities. They experience situations wherein they feel not loved, not trusted, and they don't see the empathy. Then you deal with the appraisal. What sort of appraisal? Affirmation and feedback. See, to really know about the support, you have to let people tell you. Get feedback from the people you serve, how positive or negative it is. Also, build a relationship. Because most of all these things is a relationship. When you build a good relationship, social support will be much more effective when healthy relationship is built by the one providing the service and the one seeking the service. And at times, informational, okay, advice, instrumental, provide tangible help, money, time. See, these are all great. The emotional, the appraisal, the informational, the instrumental, great. The biggest of all is a relationship. Build that relationship with those people within the society. Because most of these things, a healthy relationship can encompass all of this. How does social support work? Say you have the social support. You talk of the behavioral element, healthy behaviors and advice, compliance of treatment plan. You come up with this healthy behavior element. Some of the things that you expect you through the educational program. You encourage people to develop healthy behaviors. Compliance, when they say dealing with, then you go to the biological process. You check, okay, here are some, the biological processes. You check for low blood pressure, the hormonal regulations, and the immune functions. When those are properly checked, it leads to a healthy outcome. Now, okay, here the psychological process. So biology and psychological are about this because the psychological process, part of people's what influence their biology is their psychology about the behavior about the issue. So that's why you see the arrow going both sides. Farming the problem and coping with the problem and also controlling. You plan, you treat, you advise, you try to control, you try to do some interventions so that you control all these conditions. Then they go to you attain the health outcomes. The arrows are so simple. But times when there are problems, you come back to the social support. When there are some psychological or social psychological problems, see the arrow comes back to your need for social support. When there are behavioral element problem, health issues or whatnot, you come back for social support until they are really monitored before you advance to the next level. Pathway of social support. Behavioral, Social network can promote healthy behavior, such as physical activity and relaxation. Physical activities helps with weight control, improves blood chemistry, improves dealing with stress, because again, when people are stressed, gives rise to other type of behavior. So you have the psychological social network can promote sense of belonging and be valued, leading to strong self-esteem. When people think you are valued, you are loved, most of the time, people's self-esteem grows. And when people think good about themselves, most of the time they are likely not to engage in destructive behaviors. Most destructive behaviors, it's not that people don't know that those behaviors are destructive, but they just don't think good about themselves. They think they are worthless. How low can I go? People don't love me. People don't care. The only thing that cares is this behavior that I'm engaging. At least while I'm in it, I feel good. And you have to take people from those kind of mindset. You have to have social network that can promote people. They belong to a much better group. Say, for instance, in some communities, some young people say, oh, I joined the gang because that is the place I feel belong. People love me. But the gang in itself, though it might have perceived benefit, but down the road, it has a lot of destructive behaviors. So the network has to promote sense of belonging, a genuine belonging that values the individuals, that will lead to a strong self-esteem that can also facilitate coping strategies in response to difficulties. See, when people have a strong self-esteem, they have a better coping skills. I can do it. This is a challenge. Yeah, but watch me, I'm going to do it. Or watch me, I am not going to fall for it. But when people don't have strong self-esteem, strong perception of themselves, everything is enough to just lead them to the dark hole. So it's very, very important. Social network that we build are strong enough to really create those bonds of genuine love, genuine respect that makes each individual of that group, of that community, feeling that they are valued, they are loved, and let them feel that the sky is the limit if they have the opportunity. It is hypothesized that these pathways can lead to physiological changes that improve health outcomes. The physiology, the chemical changes, how you feel, what chemicals are going on within your body. When you think good about yourself, what are the chemicals that are produced in your brain, in your system? What are the sort of chemicals that your heart has to deal with? See, these are all things that when certain chemicals, more of certain chemicals are produced in our body than good chemicals, then those can start to destroy our organs. When people don't feel good, good chemicals are not produced in their body, in their psyche. And down the road, those chemicals don't lead to healthy behaviors. Evidence of importance of social support for health. Berman and Syme found that people who were less socially integrated had higher mortality rates consistently over a 9-year period, and concluded that social support protected to some extent against premature death. So that's why at times also it's good for good people to have good friends, build network. We as human beings, we are not islands. We are social beings. We need friends. Try to engage, develop a good, healthy social network. Usually you start from your home, your school, your church, or mosque, or temple. Because those are things that can help. When you have friends at various levels, they can speak to you when you are faced with challenges, which for sure, challenges will be there. But the social type of network you have and the way you feel about yourself, your level of self-esteem, can help you to engage in positive behaviors that will prevent premature death. So this idea, oh, I don't need friends. No, you need friends. Everybody needs friends. The strongest evidence is between social support and coronary heart disease. People with good social support have better coronary health disease. Their heart is healthier than those with lousy social support. Example, people in the social network provided support that leads to psychological adjustment in people with HIV. See, HIV, when you hear the word, oh, It's death. But if you have friends who say, oh, sorry, we had this, but you know what? You can do it. We are there for you. We can support you. Different. Same with things like cancer. Some of those real challenging health and diseases. The more social health support you have, the healthier your social network is, the better you are to be overcoming some of those challenges. Social support associated with well-being in young people. Torrell investigated how higher level of social support predict higher count of CD4 cells in the blood. These are the cells in the immune system that HIV affects and destroys. So, what is social capital? I'm going to end the class here, and we'll pick it up the next time. But just think of the word social capital. Just think about the word social capital. What does it mean?